Fucking LA, pal. Episode I was about to say Toronto. That's not a fucking.
30.
Well,
Episode 30.
thank.
Bienvenido del Sheffield Podcastio.
That's it, pal. That's it. Is that French, was it? Bit
No,
of French there, Larry.
that was perfect Spanish.
That was nice. Good.
El Podcast Esto.
You know
I
it's
mean, yesterday's small podcast.
dodgy. Heaps.
Well, episode 30, you know what that means?
Fuck me. It's a special. It's an open.
It's fucking P to the Izzo, B to the Jizzy. It's the Q&A.
Check that fade, pal. Not even a fade, just rubbing my face. Fresh to fucking death, pal. Fresh to death.
Got that V going down the back and all. Look at that.
The Crumlin special.
Oh, hold on a second. There was something said at the summit the other day, and you were like, bullshit. I said, no, it's always within arm's reach. And you said, when you get that motherfucker out for the next podcast, look at the confusion in your face. Do you have a good time Sunday night?
Yeah, do. My arm's over there, my head's here, and my jaw's outside, pal. What are we looking at here?
We are looking at for those listening in the car on the way home.
Is that a Is that a fucking? You about to pull out a? I was about to say, is he about to pull out a ring light that I record my videos in? And then I told better. Fucking welcome to the honorary member of the Dubliners. It is.
Yeah, this is why I can only report podcasts when there's nobody in the gaff.
Jesus.
Because we're coming at you fucking loud, boy!
For anyone listening on audio, no.
Sorry.
Yeah, Peter didn't just get the trash can out and fucking smash it over someone's head. He has a bower on in his hands and he's giving it a fucking bang, pal. Yeah,
it's been a long time, but this is a fucking class instrument. I was down in my brother's gaff last weekend, and he's after embracing the country life since moving down there, and they have bowrons, guitars, flutes, tin whistles, everything lying all over the place. We do have a fair dinkum good time.
You fucking got in there, son, did you?
Yeah, that's how we roll. It was weird though, because like it's normally when there's a good session going on down there, but now he's being all serious because he's in a choir. And
take it back a step here. Your brother's your brother's from town.
Yeah,
how the fuck did he end up in Kilchamaw in fucking, is that West Mayo?
Yeah, in the hills.
That, like, for anyone that doesn't fucking know anything about Ireland, I used to drive a bit. I used to promote vape cigarettes when they just came out. Brutal. Anyway, another life. Fucking very brief period of my life. They used to send us to places like fucking Mayo. Way out there, pal. Like, fucking, see where this place is, middle of nowhere. No, keep fucking going, son. You'll get there eventually. That's where Peter's brother lives. How the fuck did he end up out there as opposed to...
He met an English bird, and her family moved there when she was young, and they kind of lived between the two. Like, it's pure farmland, and then Kilchamaw village is like a tenth of the size of like Terranure village. It's
basically one shot.
The Super Queen. When the Super Queen went in, everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is fucking New York Part 2." As one pub, it doesn't even have a Bookies anymore, and that's.
I would be surprised, pal, if it had a fucking Bookies.
Yeah, we used to have a Bookies. Now it doesn't even have a Bookies. We're down there the weekend. Went up to the top of Crow Patrick.
Yeah.
Bit of crack that was. Me and the two of the older kids. None of the parents could do it. They were down at the bottom of the hill minding all the kids. Then did a tourist park run, Castlebar Park run.
Yeah, that's the main town in Mayo. I've stayed there a couple of times.
It was fucking torture.
Yeah.
The whole thing was a climb. That's what it felt like. It just felt like going uphill. And parts of it were steep. And then you're coming down all the downhill was in one go. So it was like uphill for like 3.5 minutes of a kilometer, and then downhill for like the last minute, and then a little bit of level. And it was like 3 laps. When you're coming down, it's very steep, and it's a switchback.
Yeah,
you know, like a zigzag. Yeah. Man, you're going so slow. All the impact is going into my knees.
Yeah, you end up just hobbling. You're not even, because at least you can fucking get into a stride when you've got some fucking flat ground and you're moving in a straight line. You're cutting angles and all of that shit. It's just
Yeah, and when we're coming down Crow Patrick, we kind of picked the pace up, and we were playing a game. Not playing a game, we were role playing. That's what we were doing. We were Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas at the start of the Two Towers, where they're running through the fields non-stop, you know. We're just buzzing around, and Killian, my oldest lad, he's 15, and he turned around and he goes, "A dwarf being outrun by an elf? I'll never hear the end of it." And we were like, right, let's fucking go, lads.
I can't jump the distance, you'll have to toss me.
Don't tell the elf. Oh, the fucking crack we had. We had such a good time.
Fucking hilarious. It's like climbing the old mountain. Do you ever play an old role-playing game like Skyrim or something, and try and be an absolute bollocks and climb the mountain without following the map or the path? It's like, I'll just jump a load of times to get up the side of it here. You end up getting about a quarter of the way up and then jumping into a gap and getting stuck. That's what I'd be like climbing Crow Patrick, pal. Yeah. Yeah,
there's trails going down Crow Patrick for a fucking reason, okay? Yeah, right. We were coming down and we were like, hold on a second. What if we go left a little bit, right? We go off the track and we'll go cut past these people, skip this loose shale shit, go through the grass. And we pointed at a bloke that was about a mile away. I said, "We see him down there. He has two walking sticks. We're going to call him Two Stick Man. And we have to catch him before he reaches the helicopter landing pad, or the driving range, as I call it." And we were like, okay, yeah. Well, instead of going straight down, we'll go through, because, you know, the footpath goes like this. It's like, how about we just go fucking straight as the Nazgul flies. Right? We got down, and 5 minutes in, we were like, fuck, we've made a terrible fucking decision here. Two Stick Man is gone. We're up to our fucking tits and stingers and shit. We're like, this isn't going to end well. One of them takes a step, comes out missing his shoe. I was like, okay, right, that's it. Back to the trail.
Yeah, you're on the road to hell. Just stop now.
Yeah.
Turn about.
There's a reason why all these, and you had the martyrs as well, where you had L ones in their 50s and 60s going up and down in the bare feet, because that's
ruthless human beings.
Because Jesus Christ climbed Crow Patrick in 1916 in his bare feet before he founded Ireland. That's a fact.
60-year-old women going up and down Crow Patrick barefoot.
Yeah.
What was the purpose of that?
Being a martyr. Fucking religion, bro.
Fucking mental.
That's what they do.
That's what you want your man to be, like fucking literally built to survive fucking like nuclear winters, pal. Yeah, about 55 kids in a under fucking 20 kids on one arm, and fucking the whole supplies, literally immune to radiation. That's the kind of females we're talking about here. Kids at the same time.
And then they're going up there, and then they get up to the top, and then there's loads of people just standing down having a good old pray. Oh, boys, boys, let's go over to Jesus.
Oh, boy.
We'll have a good old pray, right? And then I said to Killian, right? Killian, here, do you want to go over to that Jesus shrine and do a slab squat and give it one of these? He was like, no way. I was like, look, Killian, we're on the top of a fucking mountain, right? I am the third youngest person here by about 20 years, right? Anybody wants to start shit, they're getting fucked up. Let's just do this. We have to do it. We're not going to have a chance again. So we went over to this shrine of Jesus, waited for our turn when everybody was out of the way, and then went on either side of it like this, squatted down and went, you Jesus, what? Rip. Hashtag never forget, man.
Oh, fucking hilarious.
And then written on a stone beside it was Gerard with like 4 R's. It's a bizarre old place, I tell you.
a good mix of characters. Fuck me.
Yeah, well, there's a good mix. You know, there's two types of people: really mad religious people, and then me.
Yeah, that was actually your last visit when you wrote Gerard there. Fuck.
I went to my ma's always telling me I shouldn't be talking shit about religion, but we went to Knock, right, when we had all the Knock. Keltremont is right beside Knock.
Jesus.
Right next door.
For anyone that doesn't know, what is Knock?
Okay, so Knock is it was a very small town with a very, very poor church in the 50s or 60s, I think it was. And the church was about to get closed down and it didn't have a roof. So they tried to do various different types of fundraisers, but there was just such a small community that they didn't have any money to get the church fixed and fall into complete disrepair. And they were literally closing down the church. And then one genius businessman priest went, I know. Woke up the next day and goes, here, lads, I'm after seeing Jesus or Mary on the wall and she's crying. And they were like, no way. 20 years later, they had their own fucking airport and people travel from all around the whole world. And they built this big fucking Mecca beside, they built onto the church and made it like 3 times bigger than it is. And then you go behind the church and there's this big, huge fucking Mecca looking yoke, right? With this mad steeple. And you go inside and there's this wall at the back. And my brother sang there with his choir, Phil the Pill from Drimnagh, giving a Gansey loads of hymns, right? And there's a wall that they got done last year that cost £1 million. Just one wall. It was a mural on the back of a wall in Knock, and that cost £1 million.
The
so
church
basically,
don't fuck
that's what Knock is.
around, son. They don't fuck around.
Nope.
Yeah. The Pope is coming in hot, pal. Rolls Royce. Go fuck yourself, pal. Jesus. That's all you fucking need. Get the wall.
In hell. It's such a mad place. But we went there and I was being my usual self, just kind of, you know, I was enjoying myself with the absurdity of it all. I mean, Ma kept saying, stop messing. I wasn't messing, like, per se. I was kind of like, look at that fucking Egypt. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
And every time someone went past me, I'm like, pedo.
Pedo. Yeah.
Defo pedo. Pedo. Double pedo.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
and then
cool, man.
On the way back, when you hear this, Cam, on the way back, I hit a crow and it fucking wrecked the front of the car, right? And then, right, and this can all be looked up, this is pure fact. I was driving into the driveway in my brother's gaff and I drove over his fucking beloved pug and killed it.
Oh, you did?
I did.
You killed your brother's pug?
I killed my brother's fucking pug.
Fucking Christ.
And a crow killed my car. All because I was messing in Jesus's gaff.
Don't deflect the pug's death with your fucking crow story. Yeah, I'm after murdering my brother's fucking pug, but crow fucking ruined my car, man. What do you mean you ran over your brother's fucking pug, chap?
Yeah, I just came around into the driveway and he went underneath it. And
no, man.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
But, you know, in fairness, my brother got his own back. He killed my dog then a few years later.
Did he? Sorry, so you're not talking about, you're talking about down in Knock, not this weekend just gone.
No, this was in Knock. This was before, yeah.
Fucking Jesus, man. Thought you were like, yeah. I got you mixed up there.
Oh, yeah, big man. He never watched this.
Peter, fresh off with a fucking another pug killing there, lads. Wait till I tell them on this podcast. He's a bit chirpy about that pug murder.
Yeah, I need something to open with. Oh, there's a dog.
Yeah. I need to put some points on the board here, pal.
I chalked that down.
3 points on the fucking pug.
How many fucking pugs did you kill today? None? No. Fuck off.
Exactly. In fact, actually, I'm not even going to go into fucking pugs. Let's get to the fucking shit that we're here for.
Oh, yeah. The Q&A, Cam. And I asked a few lads from the tribe if they had any questions in like nutrition-based questions, basically, right? there was a couple that keep on popping up, and if we have our episode that will reference to that, then we can reference this episode then for the frequently asked questions. You know, we have people coming and going and all that stuff. So the one that came up a lot was, how many eggs are too much? A very simple question, but that one and the next one are the ones that come up all the time.
Okay.
Right, so
question. My sister messaged me this the other day as well, and it got under my skin a little bit, man. I have to say, got me right in the fucking feels, got me all riled up. So for some fucking mental reason, there's these studies that come out. Like every couple of years, there'll be some new nutrition myth that starts circulating, that people will start going, they'll just latch onto it, and they'll latch onto it for life, even though it's not really based in any actual fact. So you need to stop like giving feelings to foods, if that makes sense. Stop attaching feelings to foods. You know, food is literally just something that is broken down into macronutrients and micronutrients. Like, what is it? That's what you have to ask yourself. Instead of going, well, are eggs are bad? Well, there's a lot of foods that could be somewhat similar to eggs. Let me start off by saying eggs are probably, pound for pound, top 3 most nutritional things you can eat, like highly nutritious foods you can eat in terms of high quality protein and fucking excellent quality fats, small amount of carbohydrates. And people, these studies, I'll be interested to Google it and see when that study came out. But a lot of those studies that said don't eat over 2 eggs a day are false. And the thing that they're talking about is good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Okay, cool. So break them down first. Cholesterol. Like, now my specific scientific knowledge is probably faded on nutrition stuff, but I still have the fucking guts of an idea.
Yeah, when it comes to fucking eggs, they change their mind on it every fucking 6 months. They're good, they're bad, they're good, they're bad.
Yeah. So like the bad part of it is the whole argument comes down to cholesterol. So basically, what does cholesterol mean? Well, you have good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. Good cholesterol is HDL, and bad cholesterol is LDL. HDL, high density lipoprotein, and then bad cholesterol, low density lipoprotein. And they kind of say, obviously, eggs will have, depending on the source and depending on where it's coming from, might have, you know, a certain quantity of bad cholesterol. And they kind of take that and run with it to go, oh, well, it's if you eat more than two of these a day, you're exceeding what bad cholesterol you should be intaking, which isn't necessarily true. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily true. The reality is it has a lot more good cholesterol than bad cholesterol. And to be honest, it's like the people who ask that question in the first place are fucking full of shit. My sister will ask me fucking, which is, oh, I don't eat more than 2 eggs a day because I saw it in a study. Yeah, cool. You had 20 gin and tonics there over the weekend. It's like, and fucking 2 takeaways. What the fuck are you talking about? And you have a fucking bag of Maltesers and a massive bag of Kyo's crisps on a Friday night while you're having a glass of wine watching fucking Love Island. You know what I mean? And it's like, don't, what are you fucking talking about?
Don't blame the fucking third egg.
What the fuck are you talking about? What, like, I'd be interested to know. I haven't actually looked at it. This is something I read about years ago, but I'd be interested to go in and actually look at how much bad cholesterol versus good cholesterol are in eggs, because I'm fairly sure that there's far more good cholesterol. But the whole problem with this cholesterol thing is that there was like marketing that came out. What was those fucking, you know, there's always something about marketing. What were those fucking, is it Benecol, the ones that show you the ad of your fucking gut bacteria?
Yeah.
This allows your gut bacteria to grow back. Some fucking bollocks that probably is totally overstated. They take one thing that people don't understand and then they fucking turn the multiplier up on it and go, one little small detail, make that look like a really big detail, and then sell that or sell the fucking fix for it. So it's like they way overstate the bad effect of the fat that comes from eggs. And now that's whatever it is, you know? It's the same thing with any fucking product. And eggs aren't necessarily a product, and it's kind of a bad example, but it's just that in that example, it's not true. I, on average, might eat 3 or 4 eggs a day. I used to eat 5 or 6 eggs a day. I've always been a healthy person. I've always been in shape. It's not a problem, you know, and, oh, it's bad for your heart. It's like, listen, you're not going to die of a fucking heart attack at fucking 50 because you ate 3 or 4 eggs. You're going to die of a fucking heart attack because you ate shit, you drank fucking pints consistently every single week, you ate fucking shit food consistently every single week, you haven't eaten a salad since 1998, and you drink more fucking coffee and beer than you do water. So go fuck yourself. You know? And you spend more time vegetating and slowly decaying on your fucking couch watching shit other than actually moving your body and exercising. You know what I mean? It's like it's a bullshit thing to say. It's a really, I understand because we are what we're told. You know, just don't believe the bullshit. Actually question things. Nutrition is so full of these myths because people don't understand the facts about nutrition. So no, to answer your question, there is no limit on how many eggs. If you eat fucking 8 eggs, cool, you're taking in a lot of calories. So potentially you don't need fucking 8 eggs. But it's like the damage is in the dosage. So you did like 3 or 4 eggs isn't going to make a massive difference. Like I could eat 6 eggs in a day and not eat anything else and still be in a massive calorie deficit. You know, it's like, it's that question, it's not given in the right context. You know, Not all cholesterol is bad. You need cholesterol in your body for fats to actually be utilized in your body and for your heart to operate at an optimal level. So to answer the question, the damage is in the dosage in comparison to everything else. It's like have as many.
Yeah, like fucking anything.
Yeah, it's like fucking anything. Exactly. Too much of anything's a fucking bad thing. But 2 eggs is not a rule. It's a bullshit rule. It's a bullshit rule. Eggs are fucking great for you. I take eggs any day over fucking, you know, it's like, if you think eggs, and I'm going to say this again, if you think eggs are your fucking problem, let me see what else you're eating in a fucking week. I guarantee you're filling your face with garbage. So don't worry about the really good fucking, really highly nutritious thing that you get from a fucking chicken and start focusing on the processed, refined shit that you're buying on the shelves. Chap.
Does your diet affect how your metabolism works?
Yes, 100%.
As in, like, so remember I asked you a while ago, I said, does your metabolism catch up with you? And you were like, no, you catch up with yourself and your metabolism reacts accordingly to how you are. Yeah. So diet will affect that as well, of course, yeah?
Everything affects the metabolism. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sleep, like, because everything's connected in your body, like sleep and hormone function. Like sleep has a massive play with your hormones. The food that you eat, generally, to simplify this, generally the higher you give your body higher quality fuel over time and it becomes a more efficient machine. It's as simple as give your body more efficient fuel over time and it becomes a more efficient machine. The same thing goes with training. So when it comes to training, it's like training is building your body into a bigger engine, if that makes sense. It's building your metabolism to become a bigger engine. So when someone starts off in the gym, it's like they could eat a fucking packet of crisps and wake up the next day fat. Why? Really slow metabolism. Whereas if you take that person, well, maybe when you started, but probably...
It was, yeah, big time. Yeah, what I ate, I weighed that much extra tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You take someone like that and then, cool, if I was to get you to, not on a short, it isn't a quick fix. If I was to get you to lift weights for fucking 3 years consistently, lift weights, get fucking strong, build some muscle on your frame, chances are you've just gone from a 1 liter fucking Fiat Seicento and now you're a 3 liter fucking Land Cruiser with a supercharger in it or whatever. You know, it's like you've built yourself into a bigger engine. That takes time. Why? Because you have to build bigger muscle. You have to build a more efficient nervous system. You're literally growing yourself into something bigger and better. And when you grow yourself into something bigger and better, the system that is required for processing your food becomes a faster machine, it becomes a faster system. You know, it's like booting up. It's like going from fucking Windows 98 to Windows 10. It's like that's the steps with metabolism. Food also impacts it the same way. Food impacts it in a very similar way. Like you keep eating garbage infrequently. Do you know what I mean? It's like the classic chef thing where it's like, don't fucking eat. You might pick a few fucking things during the day and then it's a massive two pizzas or something when you get home at night. It's like, that's terrible for your metabolism because there's no rhythm to that. Do you know what I mean? There's no rhythm to that. Your metabolism likes being spiked, 3 to 5 times a day. That's generally how you should be eating. So if you're 3 to 5 meals a day, so the frequency helps, 3 to 5 meals a day, and those meals are high quality and what you're taking in. It's like, that's how you can do that in conjunction with exercising regularly, especially lifting weights. You get a faster metabolism, which means you burn more calories than you used to. And it becomes more efficient, where it actually utilizes more of the nutrition within it. Yeah. So like, let's say you've gone from, you eat 2,000 calories in a day now, wherever you are right now, out of shape person, 2,000 calories in a day, you put on a bit of weight. Let's say a year later, you eat 2,000 calories and now you're fucking burning all full of fat at that weight, because you actually need to eat more in order to fucking stay the same, because you built this bigger engine for yourself.
You process it better. That's part of having a better metabolism as well, yeah?
Say again, bro?
You process the food better.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing about nutrition quality. So it's like, obviously, the type of food, again, let's say I ask myself, when I have a steak in my hand, right? What do I need this steak for? When I eat it, what's my body going to do with the steak? If I eat the steak, that steak is really high quality protein. My body's going to take that and it's going to use it to rebuild and repair new muscle. So now I'm growing bigger, stronger. Okay. Now, what happens if I give you like 2 or 3 slices of Denny's ham? Do you know what I mean? That's like lowest common denominator in terms of quality of protein. It's processed shite, basically.
47 ingredients.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all fucking binded together with bullshit, and it doesn't even look like fucking real ham anymore. My body is going to take that and it'll use some of it for rebuild and repair, but it'll probably use it as fuel as well. It's like dirty fucking fuel. You know what I mean? It's not as efficient. My metabolism likes high quality. It's the same thing with sugar. All carbohydrates break down into sugar. That's what they all are at a molecular level. However, there's a big difference between getting your simple sugars from fruit and then from like chocolate bars. It's like your body will process that in a different way. Your digestive system will deal with it differently. Jesus, sorry. Getting the hiccups here mid-podcast. Love it.
Get it out there, Cam. No.
But even things like rice versus, let's think of a really shitty carb, like white bread versus like sweet potatoes. How much of that glycogen does your body actually take in and use up? Probably a lot more from the sweet potato than it does from the white bread. So that's another good example. Same thing with fat. Jesus Christ. Same thing. Oh, hey-oh.
Cam losing the fucking armbarred by a hiccup over there. Look.
Fucking about to stick on my helmet and armbands here to make it through the last part of this podcast. Fuck's sake. So the other thing would be looking at fat. It's like, look at Meridian peanut butter, the natural peanut butter. You look at it and it's got the skim on the top where you can see the separation, the fat, the oils. And then you need to look at Panda peanut butter, which is just congealed shite because they've hydrogenated the oils to make it last longer. So it's like your body looks like the same thing. Body utilizes one totally different. That's the metabolism at play. Do you like that? Anyone on the audio has not even noticed me. Ruben.
Oh, brilliant.
I wish I had about fucking, tell you what to do.
Do you know?
One, we're back. Sorry about that. The fucking hiccups had to be dealt with there. Peter just told me some insane fucking deaf lesbian joke, which was ruined my ability to hold my breath. Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about? So that
we're talking about processing carbs and metabolism.
Yeah.
I wanted that to filter into oils then as well. It's a conversation we had before on a round table. And it was something that was asked by 2 people when I asked if there were any questions for the podcast. It was what oils should be used, first of all, for cooking and second of all, for dressing.
Generally, the rule of thumb, making this very simple, is that if it's solid at room temperature, cook with it. If it's liquid at room temperature, generally throw it in an old salad or use it for dressings and shit like that, you know? Why? Because the molecular level, molecular means like the very scientists come up with like fucking, hey, they see molecules interacting together. So that's what I mean. It's very, very fucking set. It's base level, like it's scientific shit, bro. But at the molecular level, it's like when you bring liquid oils up to smoking point or high temperatures, the nutritional profile tends to change. So maybe some of the good benefits that you got from taking in those fats have now kind of gone to a negative. Do you know what I mean? They're
like as in olive oil, for example.
Yeah, like cooking with olive oil, like virgin olive oil is fucking excellent for you. It's really, really good for you. As soon as you bring that to smoking point though, a lot of those benefits tend to wither away. And then obviously anything that's solid at room temperature, like you're not going to throw fucking 2 tablespoons of coconut oil into a fucking salad, because that's just, you're an absolute deranged lunatic if you're doing that. But it's like you generally cook with that kind of stuff. So like coconut oils, butter, like people shit all over really good sources because like fats have a lot of calories in them. Do you know what I mean? Fats have calories in them. So obviously like twice as many calories as maybe carbs or proteins do. So that's why they get a bad name, but they don't make you fat. It's just the wrong quantities that people use that make you fat. So when we break this down, it's like something that is solid at room temperature is always fucking great to cook with. So like stuff that's always got shit on. Butter, like people, oh, you don't have too much. Butter's fucking grand. Butter's grand, you know. Ghee, which is clarified butter. I know my mate was mad for using that. It sounds a bit weird, but again, uses clarified butter for a lot of things, which is grand. And coconut oil, whatever other solids you can think of, you know, they're usually fine. You just have to be careful with the dosage. But the whole idea of bringing those solids to smoking point is the nutritional quality and profile doesn't really change. So you're still getting high quality fats into your body through cooking with coconut oil. Whereas you didn't get that if you cooked with sunflower oil, palm oil, or olive oil, you know, or vegetable oil or anything like that, rapeseed oil. You know, whereas if you have rapeseed oil or extra virgin olive oil in a salad, it's fucking excellent for you. For dressings or anything like that. So that's my suggestion there. The other part of that then with cooking is you just don't be a dickhead with oils. It's like there's a reason that deep frying things just naturally you don't think deep fry, yeah, that's grand, that's good for you. It's like, no, you're cooking it in high calorie fats, you know, that don't necessarily have any nutritional quality to them. So think about what's the opposite of that. Well, it's like, obviously it's all the damage is in the quantity that you're using. Deep fat fryer means you've got a fucking whole vat of fat that you're cooking in. So it's like, try and minimize the amount of that you're using, and you're just cutting out any excess bullshit calories that you have. Don't concentrate. That's a detail though for chefs or for anyone that is fairly on point with their nutrition. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people,
they can afford to have a nice bit of, like, to cook with butter and have olive oil in the salads and all that, because the rest of it is balanced out. You know what the running theme through this whole podcast is, and will be at the very end, is what you're always saying: the damage is in the dosage.
Totally. Like,
and don't be a fucking idiot with it.
Yeah, just don't, like, remember your priorities. Like, priorities with nutrition, like, number 1 is your portions. Number 2 is your structure. That's like your 3 meals a day. Number 4 is your food prep. Number 3 is your food prep. And it's like, once you have that shit dialed in and you're drinking plenty of water, then start to look into, obviously don't be a dickhead with creams and butter and stuff like that. But focus on those small details, like reducing the quantities of your oils later on, once you've established a solid foundation for yourself. That's what I would say. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does, yeah, big time, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, bit off topic, but how do you find teaching nutrition to chefs? Is it easier? Compared, like, chefs to civilians?
Yeah, way easier. Way easier.
They get what you're saying, kind of thing. Or do you get a lot of, I know. That's like,
yeah, well, look, like, you guys underestimate the fucking, like, I grew up around food. Like I grew up like learning how to cook. Do you know what I mean? It was always part of what I did. Like,
I had 7 different dinners or something by the time I was 15.
there you go. You know what I mean? It was always like,
you know what I mean?
yeah. So you always knew how to cook things down, finely chopping onions, you know, sweating, like just real basic shit. Knowing how to sweat onions down with fucking garlic and, you know, whatever. You know how to make a stock. Like these are all totally alien to most people. Most people have fucking no idea. They have no idea when it comes to basics of cooking, which is really unfortunate, to be honest. You know, it's really unfortunate. I'm not a technically trained chef.
I think that's an Irish thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like not really cultured around food, you know, and like obviously there's some great aspects to Irish cuisine and Irish food that we cook, but a lot of people just lack that life skill. You know, although a lot of friends of mine, just if you had to put them in a gaff by themselves, they actually probably wouldn't be able to fend for themselves. It's like toast and fucking beans, and it's like, man, what are you on about? You know, how do you not know how to, like, everyone should know how to cook a fucking chili. Everyone should know how to cook a fucking bolognese. Everyone should know how to cook a stir fry. Everyone should know how to cook, you know what I mean? It's like, you have staples in your fucking repertoire that you should be able to do. So when I coach chefs, it's like, we've already skipped the foreplay. I don't have to fucking write a recipe list down for you to go and make a chili. If you're a chef, you don't have to make a chili, you probably need to go and find a new fucking job. You know what I mean? Like, that's numero uno. So you skip the bullshit there. So I can literally, when I come to coaching you, I don't have to coach on that. Whereas a lot of people, I'd have to write down a nice little recipe list with every fucking like possible ingredient, because most people can't tie their fucking shoes in the figurative sense when it comes to food.
Whereas with a lot of chefs, you can say, right, cook a fucking chili, make a good shake.
Yeah, earlier on, man, like I had a question in the group, but it's like, I'm getting sick of chilies. It's like, fair enough. And I know Al Sperrin said this before. Sometimes I'll do a clean week. And I like doing this, where I'll marinate a load of chicken breasts in fucking marinating olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, and fucking rosemary. Something along those lines, you know, and I'm going to throw a few spices into it, whatever. And I'll grill those off, delish. And I'll have that with a fucking couscous salad. Couscous, chickpeas, red onions, cherry tomatoes. You know, I might curry some of the, you know, spices in the salad just to spice it up a little bit. And I'll have greens on the side of that. And it just changes things up, and it's delicious. But like, I just said that in a comment to one of the lads. Marinate chicken breasts, grill them off, you know, grill off half for the week, put the rest in the freezer, and then take them out and fucking grill them later on in the week. And then it's like, this is the couscous salad. Go for that. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like, yeah, grand, I'll do that.
See, I did that on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, boom.
And it's all fucking gone. The kids are going in. Taylor goes in. You can't really, you're not going to give out too much, like, compared to, you know, the alternative. But he goes in, opens up the fridge, and then closes the door. He comes out and he's got a breast of chicken in his hand.
What are you doing?
That's my fucking meal. My meal prep. So what? So I can't have some of your chicken. I don't know. Go on, have it. Go on. Okay.
It's a bollocks. But with that in mind, it's like, do I find it easier coaching chefs? 110%. Why? The whole idea of coaching chefs within Chef Fit is it simplified a lot of things for me. It's like, you know, but I also had this moment with coaching regular people, because I used to coach the A12, which is a transformation program, 12 weeks long. And I told you about it before. We used to get people in serious fucking shape in 12 weeks, like serious fucking shape. And what I realized in watching people do this, and we got it implemented, like this structure and strict regimen around nutrition, is how much people did not do any basic things well, like real basic shit. Like, you're trying to lose weight and people don't even know that you shouldn't be having 2 sugars in the fucking 5 coffees you're having every day. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm eating salads now. And it's like, you're having 10 spoons of sugar a day extra. And that's 50 spoons in a week. Like 50 heaped teaspoons of sugar. How much sugar is that? That's a lot of fucking sugar in a week, man.
It's a bag of sugar, man.
That's mental. It's fucking mental. So what I realized was that's what most people's intake is like. So people waste so much time doing really complicated shit with their nutrition. You got MyFitnessPal, you got all this fucking bullshit. And it's like, Grant, if you want to track your stuff for a while, go for it. But if you think you're going to sustain that for the rest of your life, you're out of your fucking mind. And that's always been my philosophy. because I'm someone who loves food. And if I want to go for a fucking meal, I don't see a problem with going for a meal. I don't feel guilty about that. I don't feel guilty about having a takeaway because 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I'm on point and I train my fucking hole off so I can enjoy those moments. And I'm not a fucking dickhead who goes crying over a fucking, you know, oh, I had a couple of drinks and pissed my pants. I understand if you're trying to put your head down for a while that can disappoint you. But once you get to a certain point, like I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been on point with my nutrition for a long time, and I've found a lot of balance with it. But it's like, I don't track fuck all. I eat like a human being. I know what's good and I know what's fucking bad. I know what's too much and I know what's not enough. So it's like, once you establish that for yourself, grand. My philosophy with Chef Fit is to get chefs to the same fucking point. That I want to get guys to that point where it's like, you understand that if you prep once a week, you eat your 3 meals a day and you have your 2 fucking snacks and you train hard and you're eating more greens than you did before and you build a habit out of doing that, chances are you're going to be fine.
That's the key word there, is the habit.
Yeah, and you build a habit out of doing that basic shit really, really well. The reason that it needs to happen for chefs is because Mary down the road working a 9 to 5 doesn't have time for that shit. And she has twice as much time as a chef. So like a chef needs to be fucking way more precise with what they're doing. Remove the bullshit. That's why the nutrition plan and what we do is kind of a revelation for a lot of guys within the group, because it's easy to.
It fucking is. It really, really is.
Yeah, and it gives you freedom.
Yeah, it's not a restrictive diet. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat that. There's not a single thing in the plan that you say don't eat, because you're telling what to eat, and then that all makes perfect sense.
Totally. And it's like, you do that. I don't restrict. I just give context. People don't give context to shit. You always hear, but oh, is this good? Is this bad? This is a wrong question. Stop asking that fucking question. What's good? What's bad? This hammer's good, isn't it? Yeah, until I caved your fucking skull in with it, son. Then it became a bad hammer. No, it's not good nor bad. It's the context that you're using it in. Same thing with your nutrition. It's the same thing with your nutrition. So it's like, is this good or is this bad? Well, if you eat fucking 10 of them, it's probably going to be bad, yeah. You know? It's like protein bars. Are they good or bad? It's probably better than a fucking regular chocolate bar, but I wouldn't be eating fucking 5 or 10 of them, for example. You know, it's context. Ask the right question. How many of these is bad? You know? What's in it that I should not be having a lot of? Like, those are the kind of questions you need to ask. So when it comes to chefs, anyway, getting back to the question, I want to get their head wrapped around doing really basic things well. And they understand and they take that concept on board, because I think a lot of chefs understand that as part of their craft as well. It's like all these fucking spoofers out on Instagram posing as chefs and will post great fucking plate pictures and all of this shit. But the reality is there's a lot of people coming up in the industry who can't cook. You know, they can't fucking cook and they can't do basic things well. And that's such a premise. It's like, if you can't do the fucking basic techniques well, don't worry about the fancy shit, pal. Don't be fucking, classic quote from Louis Simmons, best powerlifting coach who ever lived. Don't have fucking $100 shoes and a 10-cent squat. It's a fucking fact, you know? Don't have the best gear in the world if you can't back it up with fuck all. It's like, same thing with your nutrition. So when I coach chefs, they understand that. And it's like, no, just for the brief period, when you start off, chef, very good chance that when you start something like Chef Fit and you start using our fucking philosophy and our way of life, it's like, there's a very good chance you had either a problem with booze, drugs, or food, or maybe all three at the same time. So when you have those vices in your life, I will generally tell you to restrict that for a month or two until you get them under control and replace them with good shit. That's the only time that I'm going to tell you to stop fucking acting the bollocks, you know? So you probably shouldn't be eating bread, pasta, crisps, chocolate, cans of fucking Coke, or smoking weed and drinking fucking beer or booze. Like, that's good advice for your first month or two when you're looking to make a change, because you're still dwelling in this gray area. Whereas you do, and then when you do restrict it for the month or two and you built the good solid habits that you already have, now you can re-implement those things once per week if you need to. Peter has done that successfully, and he got it, like, he's fucking 90% of the time he's fine. You know, he's found a good equilibrium with where he's at. And now he gets to the point where it's like, cool, well, Peter is now settled at that. And now we can look to the next thing. And if Peter wants to drop down and get even leaner and get to a fucking 6-pack level, cool. Well, if that's what you do, that's the context. So if that's the context, I'm going to tell you to cut some shit out. Because if you want to make that happen, that's what it's going to take. But it's all about the context. I wouldn't have told Peter to just restrict shit if he had said, nah, I'm actually kind of happy with where I'm at here. Like, if he was happy with where I'm at, cool, keep doing what you're doing. He's not. So it's like, grand. Same with really overweight chefs who are unhealthy. It's like, keep doing what you're doing, boozing, smoking, fucking doing drugs and eating shit late at night. Yeah, you're going to end up doing the same shit over and over again and get the same result. That's insanity. So like, what do you need to do is you need to cut that shit out for a while. And then once you have the habits built around really basic good shit, then you can add things back in small dosages.
Brilliant.
Next question.
Next question came in from the 3 people that I asked. The 3 people asked the same question in a different way. You've answered this 1,000 times, so you don't have to go 2 balls deep into this because you might think like you're repeating yourself, right? First one was, does meal timing matter? Next one was, when should we eat? And the next one was, should we eat before or after a workout? And the way I broke this question down, because a lot of us work different hours, and one of the people that listen to this, nobody does the same hours. So should we be eating right before, a good bit before, straight away after? Like, when should we eat before the workout and after the workout? Specifically if you're working early or if you're working later in the evening.
Yeah. So what I would say there is, like, does meal timing matter? Yes, in a way, because when you're thinking about the meals during the day, like your body, when you feed your body, if I have a meal that has 50 grams of protein in it, like my body, depending on the time of day, will intake a lot more of that protein. You know, if it's after a workout, my body will take way more of that protein. Whereas if it's like I've just had a meal and then 2 hours later I had another meal and I haven't done any exercise, my body's not going to use that second meal's protein as much. You know what I mean? So like your body, if you break your body down in the gym, your body requires the nutrients quickly to be able to utilize it. So
shake straight after a workout and then onto one of your main meals.
So before and after workouts, like that, let's start with that. Before and after workouts. So generally like an hour to 2 hours before a workout. You want something that doesn't have a huge amount of fiber in it or doesn't take a long time to break down. You know what I mean? So if it depends what time you're training at as well. But if you train in the evening, let's say, you should have had 2 meals and then you might have something light beforehand. You might have a piece of fruit and a protein shake. That's a good pre-workout for me. You know what I mean? That's a good pre-workout. If you train really early in the morning, like fucking 6 or 7 o'clock, I would just train fasted. I would just train fasted and eat after.
Can you still get a maximum performance out of yourself?
In the morning, yeah. Like,
is that a myth actually? Fasted workouts make you burn more calories or help you to burn more calories, or is that bullshit?
In a way, if your body if you're doing intermittent fasting, so your body grows accustomed to having a 16-hour fasting window to 20 hours. Generally,
like survival mode type of thing. So
it gets more efficient. Your body goes into fight or flight mode a little bit more. So that's more likely to burn off excess body fat. But a lot of the times, man, like it comes down to calorie fucking deficit. Like end off. The number one thing is calories. So it doesn't matter if you train fucking fasted if the rest of your day you're gonna stuff your face with shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
Like I've heard some of the bigger chefs and Chef Fit, the guys who can talk a great game. I've had plenty of them. Gonna train I'm gonna do fasted cardio in the morning and then go and fucking gym later on that night. You know, and it's like the fasted cardio is like a cherry on top. It's a cherry on top. It's not really like if I'm a bodybuilder training for a bodybuilding show and we're talking like top 1% advances or top 1% advantage where I'm trying to get like ahead just a little bit, then maybe fasted cardio is going to have an impact. But if you're 120 kilos, it's like, don't worry about fasted cardio, pal. It's like, I would train fasted, but I'm not training fasted because it's better for burning body fat. I'm training fasted because you'd have to wake up at fucking 4:30 in the morning to eat, and that's not worth it. I'd rather you get an extra 2 hours of sleep than wake up like a fucking gimp and eat a meal for no reason.
Yeah.
That'd be my advice. So getting back to the question, as I've just blown my nose here, hold on.
So if you're working out, like say for example, like Wilco or Andy, where you're not starting your workout till 12:30, and you're getting home at 1 o'clock, you're going to be lepping hungry if you don't have something then. Should you just have a shake, or should you have something to eat?
Something quick and easy. You're going to have to make the best of the situation.
Obviously, you're always saying don't eat before you're going to sleep as well. Do you know that way?
Yeah, before we dive into that, I just want to cover post-workout. So, like the biggest thing post-workout is you want as little fiber in as possible, because fiber slows your digestion down. So like vegetables will contain a lot of fiber. So if I finish the gym, I want to get those nutrients, especially the protein, to my muscles as fast as humanly possible. That's why a protein shake works well with some fruit, you know, because it's like you're getting simple carbohydrates, which is simple sugar, and you're getting fucking fast acting carbs. Combine them together, boom, it's like a fucking adrenaline needle into your muscle for recovery. Whereas if I have a big fucking chicken salad after the gym, it's going to take ages for my body to get through that. And by the time like you have this optimal amount of time to get your body recuperated optimally, it's like you've lost that chance almost. It's not going to make all the difference in the world, but after workouts, it's like as little fiber as possible, as fast acting as possible. So I'd like to have a shake. I always have, like I came back from a run there before I did this, and it's like I have my banana, I have a tiny bit of peanut butter, 2 scoops of protein, some yogurt, and some berries frozen in the blender, boom, down the hatch. I didn't put my spinach in it with that one because it's just going to slow down that digestion, and I want it in my system quicker. So that'll be my shake after the gym. Then getting back to your question earlier on, it's like, cool, well, what if you're training late at night like Andy or Wilco and they're coming home? I would still say they need to get something into their system, but they mightn't be able to.
They would have had, they have very long days, you know what I mean? So they would have had their breakfast, 16 hours before they've gone to the gym, and they would have had their main lunch 12 hours before they went to the gym, and then their tea or supper or whatever, 6 hours before they had that before service. They finish service, and then they go to the gym.
Yeah.
Is they going to do them?
They should probably take on some simple acting carbs and fucking protein after the gym. Yeah, 100%. Like a shake, or even if it was a small, like I would recommend something nice and easy, like a small bit of oats and some protein powder and some yogurt and a small bit of fruit. Probably settle them over quite well. I wouldn't be coming home and having a steak necessarily. Like, this is all a good example. Like people think that nutrition fits perfectly into a box, and it fucking doesn't. It doesn't fit perfectly into a box in any way, shape, or form. The only way that it fucking fits, like you're going to have situations and you're going to have like, what's the best thing I can do in this situation? But like, unfortunately, you're going to have to make a sacrifice sometimes. And chances are if you're working a fucking, a 12 or 13 hour day like Andy or Wilco are, like, and they're finishing late at night, or they go to training late at night, sure, you're doing the main thing, which is your training. That's priority number one. You're going to have to sacrifice something outside of that, though. Yeah, your nutrition isn't going to be perfect, but nothing in this fucking world is. You might have to sacrifice a bit of sleep. Someone said that to me the other day about that same situation. Like, I would think it was a sister's mate of mine. My sister's mate had asked me, and it was like, do those chefs, because they're working so many hours, like, what time they train at? I was like, some lads go fucking midnight. You know what I mean? They go midnight. And she's like, Jesus, did they not lose a load of sleep over that? I was like, they do, yeah. But like, would you rather not train at all? Like that, people don't think about the other option. They just go, does that not affect your sleep? It's like, of course it does, dickhead. Of course it fucking affects your sleep. But you could also not do fucking any exercise and be so far up shit creek without a paddle that you're fucked and you're massively overweight again and you're not healthy. So it's like, you're going to have to fucking crack a few eggs to fucking make an omelet every once in a while. And that same thing goes with the nutrition. It's not going to be perfect. They need to get something fast acting into their system immediately after that. And that's it. They might be sitting down to have their big meal after that when they get home. Do you know what I mean? So they can get a bit of sleep in.
So should we avoid grains?
Specifically?
Well, it was just kind of like say brown soda bread kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like all of us are gone off bread almost altogether. But so we're having a discussion about eating rice or potatoes, right? Me personally, I go for couscous, tabbouleh, or quinoa. That's what we have every day here in my house. We don't have potatoes. We don't eat potatoes because I do all the cooking and I don't eat them. You know what I mean? I don't have anything against them. I know they're part of the plan and stuff like that. I just don't eat potatoes. And so we were talking about rice and potatoes. And then someone else asked them, what about brown pasta, brown bread, soda bread, or grains in general? So are we supposed to be avoiding grains? And I was like, I don't think so, but I'll ask the boss man. Again, I know the damage is in the dosage.
Damage is in the dosage. Digestive, you know what I mean? Your digestion as a result of those grains. Body doesn't really, like our body doesn't really like processing that kind of stuff. Even though it's brown, and brown is good for you, which is a load of fucking bollocks, by the way. That just does it. That just, what does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything. You know, might have slightly less sugar in it than, you know, white bread. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like all the same. The damage is in the dosage. The other thing is the fucking, it doesn't digest as well. So that's why, like, bread and pasta, go and eat a plate of pasta. It's good carbohydrates. No, it's not. Go and eat a fucking plate of pasta and see how your stomach feels, pal. Game fucking over. It's true. Same thing with bread.
Right. You go straight to sleep.
Yeah, same thing with bread. It's like a ball of fucking, like, just wheat that just gets into your stomach and it just kind of sits there, you know. So your digestive system doesn't really like it too much. The other thing is just what comes with the territory of that. The only time I'm eating fucking bread is when I'm having a good old fucking time, pal. Like, good old BLT, yeah, fucking lash it out of it. Fucking filling out a roll there, yeah, lash it out of it, you know? Like,
A chicken roll.
I have a fry, fucking stick on a couple of bits of toast there, boom, I'll dip them my egg, happy days. You have a bit of marmalade there, a bit of butter, happy days. I'll spread that on top as well, and I'll absolutely smash 2 slices of that. Slice of bread there, a bit of Nutella in the fucking shelf, happy days, son, spread that shit. You know what I mean? Bit of peanut butter, spread that shit, pal. Cashew butter, spread that shit, pal. It's like, what comes with the territory you having that? You know? So the reality is I might have bread every once in a while, but I don't miss bread, even though bread used to be a big part of my life. So I have control over it. So I can have bread if I need to, or if I want to, once per week.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know.
What's been ringing in my head since the Chef Fit Summit was something very simple that you said to me of your average for the week, you know, fucking up your average for the week with one bad meal. Yeah. The actual overall average, not just like me specifically where I was having a cheat day instead of a reward meal or whatever kind of thing, but how that would ruin the average of the old 90-10 that we try and nail down as we're going along.
Yeah, and that was a revelation for me, and we'll end it on this one, which is like that question Peter just said there. Was that even a question? But I'll rephrase it. It's like, talking about the biggest revelation he had was when he noticed I said something at the Chef Fit Summit, and I was like, what most people fuck up is they'll have one day per week where they give themselves some fucking ease off, and they think that's fine. When the reality is, it's like most people live their life like this: Monday through Friday. Imagine calories here as my hand. It's like, this is your average, okay? Calories are good, calories are good, calories are good, calories are good. Friday, Saturday, and then it's like Sunday, Monday, and then you're back to the average. So you've gone from here to way up here. So now your average is here, and this is all you need to stay the same weight. So you're that one day or 2 days that you fucking let loose, that's the thing that's fucking you up. And it's because you're not being strategic.
You make the difference between losing weight or staying at the same weight.
Exactly. And because you
like I haven't put on weight in an awful long time. But when it stagnates, when I look back at it, it literally is because of one blowout day. After being good for a whole week.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah, totally. But it's one tweak. It's one tweak there. You know, and it's like your original was like, cool, I'll have a couple of drinks on a Friday night, or I'll have a fucking couple of gins. You know what I mean? and we'll have something fucking, maybe that whole day then started deteriorating, and then it's a whole day that you're fucking not on.
And then you're well on a very couple of gins, and then you're just fucking going in raiding.
Yeah, exactly. So when that
happens, all in, going, no, I've 4 blues and 4 greens clapped up this week. I can take this shit, and obviously I could, but it was fucking up my average.
Well, contextual though.
Yeah.
If you're happy with where you're at physically, keep doing what you're doing, because you're training hard and all of those things, and you've already achieved a serious result. But if you wanted to take it to the next level, it's like, cool, you're going to have to start dialing those things in. It's facts, not feelings. That's just the reality of it. It's like, if you're not happy with where you're at and what you're doing isn't getting you to where you want to be, then you're going to have to fucking change what you're doing. For a lot of people, though, they still live in this feelings land where it's like, but I'm eating good, I'm eating well, but you're not, Karen. You're fucking, like, Friday nights are a fucking shit show. You stuff your fucking face with chocolate on fucking Saturday, and then you have another couple of glasses of wine on Sunday. But you were good Monday through Thursday because you brought a fucking, a salad and a fucking yogurt into the office with you. It's like, fuck off, It's like, you have to live in this world of going, all those small shitty decisions, they start to stack up on each other. And once you have loads of shitty decisions stacked up on top, that's the difference between progress and fucking stagnation. And if you want to progress, you're going to have to change the actions. Simple as.
I've learned an awful lot from this episode.
Yeah.
There are good broad questions with good broad answers. I'm armed now with some solid information, with some very, very non-bullshit answers now for me going forward with helping any of the lads I can.
Totally.
Main things being, don't be a fucking dickhead, and the damage is in the dosage. And that's what kept popping up here. And this is why I think it was important for us to do this episode, because it has been coming up a lot with us, And now it's done in the bag. We've half the questions done, but we've run out of time, folks.
Subscribe to the channel, like the fucking channel, like the page on Facebook, like the fucking podcast, wherever you're listening to it. Subscribe and like and rate whatever it is. If we're on iTunes for you right now, 5-star review. Podbean, subscribe, create a profile, get on it. YouTube, please give us a fucking thumbs up. Please leave a comment and please subscribe. Help us in whatever way you can. If you're looking at this shit on social media, tag a fucking chef who needs to hear this shit. Tag them. They know so much bollocks about nutrition. They don't know, so you need to fucking let them know. Don't just hold on to the things. Yeah, I'm listening to this great thing. Let people know about it. This industry needs to start hearing this shit. So with that in mind, that is me. That is BOBG. And that has been us. That has been episode 30. Guys, thank you so much. I will catch you in the next one. OBG, stay safe.